If you've ever lost weight, gained it back, started on a new diet Monday, quit by Friday, and then promise yourself you start over next week, you're not alone. And this video is for you. So, the problem may not be that you're lazy. It may not be that you lack discipline. It may not even be that you don't know what foods to eat. The real problem could be something more people don't want to talk about: food addiction. Today, we're going to discuss why so many adults over the age of 35 struggle to stay on track with their weight loss goals, how food addiction develops, and most importantly, what you can do to break the cycle. Because if you're consistently battling cravings, emotional eating, stress eating, or late night snacking, this video may explain why. Stay tuned, stay until the end because I'm also going to give you 5 practical steps that you can start using today. It's not just about food. So, when most people think about their addiction, they think about drugs or alcohol, but the addiction is really about behavior. It's about repeatedly doing something even when no you know it's hurting you. And think about this. How many times have you eaten when you weren't actually hungry? I do it all the time. Or I try not to, but I'm guilty of that as well. How many times have you said, I'll just have one cookie? I can't eat just one cookie, so I just don't eat one cookie. I'll just have to not eat the cookies. And somehow the whole sleeve disappears. That was me with my daughter's Oreos. So I'm with you, friend. How many times have you eaten because you were stressed, bored, angry, lonely, or overwhelmed? That's not physical hunger, that's emotional hunger. And emotional hunger can be incredibly powerful. Food becomes a reward. Food becomes comfort. Food becomes entertainment. Food becomes stress relief. And over time, your brain starts associating certain foods with feeling better. But the problem is that those foods are usually highly processed foods loaded with sugar and fat, and a lot of times salt. And these foods trigger dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. So the same chemical involved in many addictive behaviors is dopamine. The same chemical involved in many addictive behaviors is hmm. So every time you're stressed, your brain remembers. Last time we had chips, ice cream, or fast food, we felt better. And the cycle continues. Why it gets harder after 35. Many people tell me, Andrea, I've never struggled with my weight even when I was younger, and that's pretty common. And after 35, several things begin working against us. First, life gets busier. You may be raising children, that's me, working full time, that's me, taking care of aging parents, that used to be me, but it's no longer me, running a business, that is me, managing a household, and I'm gonna also say maybe trying to work out. And I go to the gym 3 times a week, and sometimes that can be a little stressful. And the result, your stress levels increase. Second, recovery becomes more important. Lack of sleep increases hunger hormones. When you're exhausted, your body craves quick energy, and usually that is sugar and highly processed foods. Third, muscle mass naturally declines if you're not actively strength training. Less muscle means fewer calories burned throughout the day. And finally, many adults over 35 have decades of eating habits already programmed into their daily lives. That's most of my clients. Think about that. If you've been stress eating for the last 20 years, you're not breaking a bad habit, you're breaking a lifestyle habit. So, that's simply why we're saying eating less rarely works. Here's the truth that might surprise you. Most people don't need another diet. They need a new relationship with food. The fitness industry loves selling meal plans, detoxes, fat burners, and quick fixes. But if food is being used to manage your emotions, no meal plan can fix that. If you have the perfect diet on paper, but if every stressful day ends with emotional eating, the plan eventually falls apart. And the problem isn't information. Most adults already know vegetables are healthier than French fries, and some people want to call French fry a vegetable, but let's not do that. Most people know water is better than soda, but I've literally had people tell me that they're not going to drink water because it's nasty, which is diabolical. Knowledge isn't the issue. I'm about to kill my microphone. Excuse me, folks. But behavior is, and the real work happens between. your ears and not on the scale. And truth be told, as a personal trainer, I don't really love the scale. I pretty much lift weights a lot. So if you're going to just look at a regular scale that's not going to tell you your body fat percentage and your visceral fat and your water and your protein, then it could really mess you up mentally when you're in your weight loss process. So go get you a smart scale. I'm going to tag a link to a smart scale in the description below so you already know and you're already on track with that. Signs you may be struggling with food addiction. And let's see if any of these sound familiar. You constantly think about food. You eat even when you're full. You hide what you're eating from others. You feel guilty after eating certain foods. You use food to reward yourself. You eat when stressed, sad, angry, or bored. You promise yourself you'll stop tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. And now let's be clear. Having one of these behaviors doesn't automatically mean you're addicted to food, but if several of these describe your daily life, it's worth paying attention because awareness is the first step towards a change. So let's talk about how to break the cycle. And here's 5 strategies I've used with my clients personally. Stop keeping the triggering foods around. Here's the thing. I am literally on a weight loss kick now. I just I don't know how much weight I've lost because like I said, I don't really visit the scale too much, but my transition is coming from me looking at my physique. I can look at myself and see where the sugar or where the bread sits in my thighs or yeah, like there's certain when I was at my top shape, I knew where the fat sat and I knew where the fat, came off first. Number one, your belly is the first thing to come, and it's going to be the last thing to leave. So you can start looking at some other areas of your body, but I say all that to say that in this weight loss transition that I've taken, my daughter's foods were some of my trigger foods. Like for instance, my daughter would be like, "Mommy, let's get some Oreos." My daughter would not eat the cookie portion of the Oreo. Guess who loved the cookie? I love the cookie. She loved the sugar. So I would literally take the Oreo out. She would eat she would eat the sugar portion, and then I'd be like, "We're not wasting that cookie. Give me the cookie." So eventually, once the packs of cookies were gone, I didn't buy anymore. And here's the thing: every time I ate some cookies, it triggered sometimes for me to just go and sneak her foods and eat it by myself. But on those nights, I remember I would be in bed and my stomach would just be, I would be super gassy and my stomach would hurt so bad. And when I tell you my digestive system it just didn't like Oreos. It's just like I'm not trying to slam the food, but they're not great for you. So I literally stopped buying them. I said to myself that I'm gonna keep snacks in the house that I'm not gonna eat that she likes. Like for instance, she likes Cheerios. So I buy her Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't like to eat sugar. I mean, I don't like to eat cereal at all. So she loves them. I don't eat them. It's not triggering, and boom, we got it there. And for the most part, I've changed her diet around too and made it so that if she wants a snack, she's eating some fruit. And then we'll eventually add some vegetables, like if she, vegetables with dip and things like that, if she wants something like celery and guacamole or something like that. But like I said, if you can't stop eating it, just stop buying it. You don't need more willpower and you don't need you need fewer temptations. And that's what I did for myself. Create an environment that supports your goals. Number 2, eat more protein. Protein helps control your hunger. It increases your fullness, your satiety. It helps preserve muscle mass. And I had to tell a client earlier today. I said, well, what are you eating for breakfast? He said, sometimes I eat breakfast, and that is oatmeal. And I said, I need you to be on a high protein diet. He is above the age of 60. The older you get, the less protein, I mean, the more protein that you're gonna need to make sure you take in because your body is definitely, on the let's say this, your body is not growing anymore. Your body is not creating the proteins and not holding on to proteins the way it used to. So you definitely want to eat more protein to help preserve your muscle mass. It reduces the urge to snack constantly, and many adults are under eating protein. Like I have most of my clients are like that, especially my older clients. So protein is very important, and please up your protein intake. And number 3, Identify your triggers. Every craving has a trigger. Keep a journal. When you crave unhealthy foods, ask yourself, am I hungry? Am I stressed? Am I bored? Am I tired? Am I emotional? And the answer may surprise you. But like I said, you have to keep track of these habits in order for you to understand what happens and where it is in your diet. And number four, replace the habit. You can't just remove the habit, you need to replace it. If stress sends you to the refrigerator, try going out for a walk, stretching, a deep breathing exercise, maybe going to read a book, calling a friend, and my favorite, going to the gym. So you want to create a new response to stress, and that's definitely going to help you with your eating, changing your lifestyle. Number five, focus on consistency and not perfection. One bad meal doesn't ruin your progress. One bad day doesn't ruin your progress. One bad week doesn't ruin your progress. The people who succeed aren't perfect. I am not perfect. I am not consistent. I had pizza the other day. I shouldn't have had pizza. The next day I decided I was gonna not eat and do some juicing because I ate pizza the day before. So my reward to my body was just put excuse me, putting some healthier substances in it. And I love to eat. So I wanted to starve the flesh of the food. And for me, that puts me back on track. I had energy because I was juicing, healthy juices with fruits and vegetables. But like I said, I had to change the trigger in my brain. And, my daughter loves pizza. So it's in front of me and I cheated. And I was like, and I felt bad after I did it. So you gotta stop thinking that you're gonna be perfect. It's not perfect. It's gonna be trial and error, and just try to be better than you were yesterday. And that's your focus, being better than you were yesterday. Um, Once again, if you're over the age of 35 and you're struggling with weight loss, understand this. You are not fighting calories alone. You may be fighting habits, emotion, stress, patterns you've carried for years, and that's why this journal can feel so difficult. But the good news is that habits can change, patterns can change, your life can change. The first step is recognizing that this isn't simply a willpower problem, it's a behavior problem. And behaviors can be rebuilt one choice at a time. And if this video helped you, please comment below. I'm breaking the cycle. I'm breaking the cycle. Put that in the comments below. And if you're ready to personalize, if you're ready for personalized coaching, nutrition guidance, and accountability, I'd love to help you, friend. So please send me an email at andrea@fitqtllc.org, or you can call or text me. I will have my information below in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with someone who's tired of starting over every Monday. And I know 5 to 10 people on that list. Go through your cell phone, hit the share button, and go ahead and give them a great tip for today. And remember, your biggest battle isn't with food, it's with the habits that food has been helping you avoid. Until next time, see you, friend.